Boy, you're welcome.
To the barber shop.
Boy, you're welcome.
To the barber shop.
You're welcome.
To the barber shop.
Barbershop Podcast, episode, I'd say about 246, something like that.
243.
243. See, I'm like a fisherman coming back, exaggerating the length of our tenacity. But make no mistake, 243 is a very impressive number, not just in the numerology sense, but in the sheer amount of talent that has been broadcast in high definition and high fidelity, wide world coverage. From Boxo Studio in the shadow of the great Hamilton Mountain, Hamilton, Ontario, the blast furnace of music, all of the adages are true. We are in the place where you want to be when it comes to live music. Make sure that you patronize the incredible live music establishments in your city, town, village, hamlet, whatever it may be. There's somebody singing a song, telling a story, and there's somebody who has a place that hosts such a thing. Look for it. The internet will help you find it. Well, every week here on Barbershop Podcast, we help you find something new. It may be someone who's been doing it for a long time and they've got some new material. It could be somebody who is shifted gears and is into something brand new. And it could be someone like tonight's guest. We're talking about someone who actually toughs it out and I got to say hi to Ryan and Gary. Sorry, I got caught up in my thing. Ryan Cannon, Gary Greenland, of course, driving the bus, the train, bringing it home as we do. Fantastic videos and fantastic audio every week. Back to tonight's guest, someone who you probably haven't heard of, and that's even better. Music does not exist in a vacuum. It is everywhere, and the people who make it and who produce it come from all walks of life. The one commonality is they have a story to tell, and they've chosen the most communicative art form in which to do it. Music is truly international. It transcends the shackles that are put upon us so often. We try to give it its just due every week here at Barbershop Podcast. And the fellow we have in tonight goes by the name of Mr. Chris Mercer. A couple different longtime friends, associates, Mike Skeen and Mr. Dave Rave, both let me know that there was somebody who in the Niagara Falls area was producing music, was playing live. He was out there on the streets busking. He was working the patios and the chicken wing circuit. He had something special, and he should get a hold of me. And I love when that happens. And I get turned on to someone who is at a unique stage in this business, who's going to give us a little bit of an insight as to where he's come from, where he is, and where he hopes to be when it comes to the life in music. Chris Mercer, how you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, I gotta say, with everyone, we ask you right off the bat, how's music kind of come into your life? What was the earliest? You just talking to you before you came, you got a lot of musicians in your family.
Yeah, I'd say originally my earliest musical influences would be my dad and my uncle and my grandpa. And ever since I was young, I remember them always playing their acoustic guitars in a circle, whether it was at the campfire or just at one house or another, family reunions, Music was always sort of around me, and it just sort of stuck in my head. I never really thought at first that I'd start playing guitar, but it just kind of got to that point because of mainly the family. And yeah, from there, basically, I just sort of built off of what my influences were that I found from place to place, and I just took it from there.
So the early days, you have people who actually gig and play in bands. You saw music at that stage-ready professional level from an early age on. It wasn't really something that was you did in secret out back. It certainly wasn't shunned or whatnot. But you make it sound like you didn't expect this to be your life, and yet you are finding out very quickly the kind of commitment that is required to make a life in this business. Let's talk about that. You're still a relatively young guy. What was the transition into writing, singer-songwriter, and what did that entail?
Well, when I was about 14 years old, I started to have a lot of issues with depression and anxiety, and over the years it sort of just started to worsen, and I needed an outlet to sort of get through those issues. So I just started writing. I'm usually up late every night. Sometimes I don't get to sleep till like 6 or 7 in the morning, so I just write. And sometimes it ends up being a song, sometimes it just ends up being rambling, but that's sort of where the music came from. Before I ever played an instrument, I wrote.
Yeah.
And eventually the writing just turned into music.
Now, was there a conscious effort to emulate someone you were really digging at that time, or did it just kind of come out holistically as...
Well, I'd say that when I make my music, I try to not emulate too many other people. I try to keep it sort of organic to, I guess, even though I haven't really necessarily found what my style is yet, I try to not try to sound like anybody else, or just try to, like I wouldn't put myself in any specific genre or anything. I just sort of, you know, play what feels right.
Yeah. And the style, it's you know, it's refreshing. It's common. You've got a deep musical kind of background, and that you can cover a lot of years in music. You're not really pigeonholed to any particular sound. You play both refreshingly original music, and yet you can cover a lot of great cover tunes, kind of note for note, which is something you have to do to make a living in this business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely one major thing that I've been told is if you want to be able to play a live gig at basically anywhere, you have to be able to play popular covers. If you're playing all original material, it's not really going to stick at first.
And you also do some comedy stuff too, which is like
do
way
comedy
off
as
the
well.
bit.
Yeah.
Do you find it just easier it's because it's not just that the guitar is a prop. It's really part of the performance, like front and center.
Yeah, you know, it's a really weird thing, because the thing is I've never done stand-up comedy before. That's one thing I've always been interested in doing, but I just haven't ever tried. But I found that the humor in the music sort of needed to come through at some points when, you know, when things were at a dark enough place in my life. I just wanted to sort of inject positivity into it, and that sort of came through just being funny. And I noticed too that when I played comedy music, people actually enjoyed it. They paid more attention to it, and they would ask me to replay these songs over and over again. And I'd never had that happen before. So that made me sort of rethink exactly what my style of music should be, and it sort of allowed me to break away from the norms, you know, what people were expecting, and sort of make something new and different, you know. And
you find it easier to be comfortable in your own shoes when you're doing it in a musical sense like that?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, you play and you sing very with a great deal of professionalism. You can tell that you've practiced and you've certainly paid your dues. And I know you've got a number of songs, like a lot of material, and you're in the process of putting together your first record. So I want to thank you for coming in at this stage before a lot of people get the opportunity to hear something that's soon going to be down forever. And these are your babies. These are some of the ones that you've chosen that you believe is some of your best ones. What are you going to play for us first tonight?
The first song I'm going to play is called Through to You. It's a song I'd best describe as loving and losing. Let's leave it at that.
You got to love it, and you got to lose it. You're going to hear it right here, right now. Chris Mercer on barbershoppodcast.com.
Seems that time has gone so fast. Memories fade away, they never last. Now my friends have found their own way. Guess nothing they said meant anything. I still think back to the name you decided to leave me. Thought I'd never feel the same without you by my side. It's a shame. When I try to call you up just to make sure you're okay, I wish that you would just pick up so I can hear your voice again. I tell you how sorry I am for everything I put you through. I don't think you give a damn if I still love you. So tell me, what's it gonna take to get through to you? If I can't get you back, who knows what I'll do? I wanna give you all the love that you deserve. So open the door and let me through to you. Can't stop filling up the page. Words sometimes surpass my age. Swear I've lived someone else's life, and you don't know wrong from right. I still think back to the name you decided to leave me. Thought I'd never feel the same. No, no, no. Without you by my side, it's a shame. When I try to call you up just to make sure you're okay, I wish that you would just pick up so I can hear your voice again. I tell you how sorry I am for everything I put you through. I don't think you give a damn if I still love you. So tell me, what's it gonna take to get through to you? If I can't get you back, who knows what I'll do? I wanna give you all the love that you deserve. So open the door and let me through to you.
The dude's name is Chris Mercer, and I think we're going to be probably doing a Kickstarter for you or something. Got to get you recording here at Boxo Studio. Boxo Studio, that's what sounds so great right now. We loved to be able to be the source to deliver some of these incredible artists to you. And here we go, Chris Mercer. Somebody might pass on the street. He's grinding out his songs. He's grinding out some of those songs that you love. Has chosen a life in music, or it's chosen him, and it's never an easy life. It is one that requires incredible sacrifices, that not only must you be constantly pursuing to be the top 1/2 of 1% of what you do, you have to do it for pennies. And quite often, if you're in a situation where you're busking, and I know from my friend Al, you got to fight off, crazies and bums and addicts and people who are jumping you for your change, people who are yelling at you and ridiculing you, the constant negativity, the kind of brutality, the shittiness that we all strive so hard to escape. And music kind of is this one way that you can get out. Talk about that. Talk about that dichotomy between what you see flashing by you, the neon, the noise, and what music does to yourself and to the people.
Yeah, I'd say ever since I got into music, I really learned what life is really about. You know, I find that Ontario's school system, I don't know if it can be said for the entire country, but what I learned in school was that you can be absolutely anything you want to be no matter what. And everybody is 100% unique, and they sort of just drill that into your head over a number of years. But after you turn a certain age, you realize we're not so different. We're all really similar, and we sort of, it seems that people are really sort of separated right now. But I realize, why be? You know, we have so much in common. You know, I meet people when I'm busking on the street that I would have never met otherwise, and it's people that I might not have normally, you know, spent time with in general or even known. But some of the most unlikely people have been some of the best influences and greatest people in my life. Like when I was living on the street in Barrie, I met, in Aurelia actually. I've been in more than one town on the street, but in Aurelia, I met a guy by the name of Chris. Funny enough, it was another Chris who was living on the street, and he'd you know, just been playing guitar to make his money. Then I ended up in the same situation. We became pretty much best friends at the time, and we bounced off of each other, and we learned a lot from each other. I'd say, yeah, he was definitely one of the other influences that's not so direct. Yeah, you know.
And to be able to channel that, we don't forget these human experiences. Yeah, and it's often been said, certainly on this show, that the personal universal is what defines a great songwriter, great musician, is to take that thing that just happened to you and to speak of it in such an eloquent way that it touches everyone, you know, or who choose to listen. And this is another thing we need to talk about, the unwillingness or the inability to listen, to comprehend. There's no comprehension. And within the music, we see that there's a volume derivative style of music that does enjoy that throng appeal that we feel when you're en masse and you're in a situation where there is a group of you. But to me, there's no substitute for live music, something that is human in its nature, being amplified and projected, and it truly goes through you. Yeah. So, have you always been kind of a freak in your group, in your age, and that you're one of the few who were like listening to this stuff and doing this stuff, or was there a good core?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I'd say I was a freak in pretty much every regard as far as that goes. Yeah. I was always sort of the outcast. I never fit in with anybody my age because everything that I was interested in and I liked doing, they didn't, and we just didn't get along because.
You should have been born in 1944 or something.
Something like that, yeah. I remember one time there was this girl, probably in grade 2, that was talking about what a good singer she was, and she was singing some song by Britney Spears or something. And then I pulled out my my Sony Walkman with the greatest hits of White Lion, and I just started playing that, and I was like, that's music.
I love you. All right, some more great music from Chris Mercer. You got a CD in the works, and I love when people bring in their stuff, right? Because this is a demo, and it's going to get reworked, but it's going to be, and there are cases time and time again where the demo is better than anything they could come up with in studio, and it makes the final album. So these are not just scratch recordings. These really have the heart and soul of what the song's about, and we're going to play one that's going to be on your next album. It's called Get a Life. Anything you want to tell us about that?
Well, I think we'll let this one speak for itself.
I like those songs. Yeah. Get a Life. Chris Mercer, barbershoppodcast.com.
Don't want no excuses, I don't wanna don't wanna see your face no more. You've always said it just could have been the answer to them insecurities. Instead you chose to sneak around with values on your feet. Tell me what you need, and tell me what the problem is. Maybe you'll agree, that's really what the challenge is. And everybody knows what you're trying to do to me. Taking off your clothes just ain't getting through to me. And it's not my fault that you didn't cover up your tracks. And you are starting to slip through the cracks. And you still think that you can get me back. But your cheeks are red but your heart is black. Get alive, stop trying to be a part of mine. You fantasize, but everyone sees through the lies. So minimize, you're too much woman for the men you see. So get alive, or find something that makes you unique. Yeah. Said I'm growing tired of the way I get so emotional. And all things closer to my heart, the more they start to go. And if I am unable to obtain one simple dream, I'll just head right back to bed and I'll drift right back to sleep. Tell me what you need, tell me what the problem is. Maybe you'll agree, it's really what the challenge is. And everybody knows what you're trying to do to me. Taking off your clothes, it just ain't getting through to me. And it's not my fault that you didn't cover up your tracks. And you are starting to slip through the cracks. And you still think that you can get me back. But your cheeks are red but your heart is black. Get alive, stop trying to be a part of mine. You fantasize, but everyone sees through the lies. Minimize, you're too much woman for the men you seek. So get alive, find something that makes you unique. Yeah. Oh, 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 oh.
And that is a sweet, sweet demo there. Chris Mercer is putting together, he's got so many songs. He's going to pick out the very best, and he's going to do a record. We should do it here at Barber, or at Boxo Studio. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, tell me if you think you should get that record going. Get it going here. Same thing on YouTube. Any of our sources where you can view or hear Barbershop podcasts. I think we have a winner here. Have you always had a good ear for music? Are you very hypercritical of your own stuff?
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Yeah, it's sort of sometimes stopped me from actually putting anything out because sometimes I'm sort of worried about how I want it to sound compared to other stuff. It's another reason I try not to play too many covers, is because if I'm constantly comparing myself to people who I might not ever be able to reach that level of, you know.
Yeah.
It's just going to drive me crazy until the end of time. So I just try to do the best I can, and sometimes I just rush through it. To be honest, I just kind of push stuff out there just to force myself to get it.
You have to make room for the next thing too.
Exactly.
Because
yeah.
constantly
Because
coming.
there's so much new stuff. Like, I mean, I've got just this one book on the floor here has another probably 10 new songs in the works that I'm.
Do you write the same way all the time, or do you?
Yeah, usually. I know a lot of people start with music, but for me, I almost always write the lyrics first, and then I write music around it. Yeah. I always have the rhythm, though. The rhythm's kind of just there. but
Yeah, it
'cause there's a
seems to
flow
me
to
you've
it,
got
you know?
the full arrangement in your head quite often. You know exactly what you want to hear. When you're going to have the hits, and the percussion is important. Playing the acoustic guitar, very percussive when you're writing, not just to have the notes, but to somehow get to convey the feel very accurately with an acoustic guitar. That's why it is, along with the piano, the writing instrument of choice, certainly in modern music. Chris Mercer is his name. He's going to be making a record. It's going to be a great one. You're hearing bits and pieces of some of the things he's put together, and you get to hear him live. And he's going to do another one for us here. What's the next live one you got in store?
This one is called Between the Lines.
And again,
Basically,
self-explanatory.
I'll give this one a little brief explanation. Basically, this is just more going into, trying to meet other people's satisfactory levels and, make them happy while still maintaining your own sanity.
If it's possible.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to hear it in Technicolor. Beautiful thing. Chris Mercer on barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, I'm not the kind of guy who's gonna waste my time to make you cry when I do it to myself just so well. I'm unable to find meaning in this mindless day-to-day. We play like we don't hate ourselves and we ain't damn do well. No one loves me like they say they do, and no one seems to care if I go here or if I'm dead over there. And I think everybody needs to take the time to find what's in between the lines, that remind of the time when we still had control of our minds. I try so hard to always be the man you saw inside of me, but he got lost inside of my mind. So if you tell me you can't see these images I am painting, then maybe it's a waste of my time. But all the while, I see you smile as someone else starts singing songs that he wrote for you, and I start crying. No use in trying. No one knows just how much hell I've been through. So don't try to tell me that I don't care. Baby, you're lonely and I tried to be there. When you called up, I'd answer quick. Without your love, baby, I feel so sick. No one loves me like they say they do, and no one seems to care if I go here or if I'm dead over there. And I think everybody needs to take the time to find what's in between the lines, then a reminder of the time when no one loves me like they say they do. No one seems to care if I go here or if I'm dead over there. And I think everybody needs to take the time to find what's in between the lines, and remind of the time when we still had control of our minds.
What am I going to say? That is great, and here, who is he? Who is this fucking guy, right? Your schmo. Somebody, right? Somebody so easy to walk past, so maybe it's time you take ownership of your own musical taste. Maybe it's time to get behind the true independent artist, someone who has to constantly be paddling upstream against all of the bullshittery and the problems of being able to get out there. Talk about some of the frustrations and how, as an artist, and you have a skill that you've honed, how do you get it out there? How do you get heard? How do you get seen? How do you get to the point where so humbly you seek just to make a living at your craft? Like, tell me about some of those journeys.
Well, I can kind of describe to you what it's like trying to get a gig for me. I basically go door to door like I'm trick-or-treating, just hand out business cards and tell them, you know, I don't have really any money, and I'm trying my best just to sort of support myself. I'm not expecting to get regular gigs or anything. I'm not trying to make too much money, but I just need to do something once in a while. And, you know, like, I've met a lot of musicians that are in these same places that I'm trying to go to, and they seem to find one way or another. And, you know, I've asked people for advice. They've been helpful, but at the same time, they've told me some things that haven't worked in my particular scenario. I don't know if maybe it's...
There's a fucking desperation and of greatness with you. And people who are hearing this tonight will agree with me that you for the rest of your life, you'll approximate that. You'll come close because tonality, it's going to be there. But you've got such a belief in what you're doing, and you're really at a crux, as so many musicians are, about what the fuck, you know, what did I do to deserve this? This is such a struggle to get even, you know, enough for me to pay my damn bills or at least feed myself. But it comes in drabs, right? When it comes great. Word of mouth. That's all it takes sometimes. Put you in somewhere, and I guarantee you being on this show is going to do great things. If you're interested, if you're liking what you hear, if you want an establishment or you got something that's going on, get a hold of me or get a hold of Chris. There'll be all sorts of attachments that you're going to see here at Barbershop Podcast. It is the real deal. There's a record in the works. It is smoking good. Boy worked on this himself. You have to do this, right? It's a DIY world. You have to do your own recording. You have to do your own promotion because no one else is going to do it for you, right?
Yeah.
It's true. This one's it's called What You Need. And we got a lot of people always telling you what you need. Is there any kind of irony in this one, or is this a straight up story?
Basically, I'd say, well, what this is at the end of the day is it's about basically I'm asking people, I hope I gave you what you need, you know. I hope that I was able to be what you wanted from me and what you needed to be able to, you know, to be happy.
Love it. That's what it's about right here. Chris Mercer, barbershoppodcast.com.
Stuck in our own minds, and everyone can go to hell. I don't wanna let us unwind. They try to tell me that I'm crazy, just saying how I feel. I said it's time I make some changes. I gotta find out how to stay still, but I am. I won't spend my whole life thinking that I still need you. I won't let you sit and cry. I'm making that promise to you. I don't know the reason why, but there's nothing that I can do. I won't let you see you die. I'll be a shadow in the books of history. Got in the blink of an eye. I hope I gave you what you need. yesterday. My head was killing me. I couldn't find the energy to get the medicine I need. Then it started to cross my mind. Do I really need to live? Some days I just get caught up in the lies. Some days I just feel to give. But I promise I'll do all the right choices in my life. And when I'm still alive, I won't sit around just waiting for my time. I'll be playing a game while you're just stuck on the sidelines. If you remember my name, I know you found me at the right time. I won't let you see me cry. I'm making that promise to you. I don't know the reason why, but there's nothing that I can do. I won't live to see you die. I'll be a shadow in the books of history. Don't even think of it now. I hope I gave you what you need.
Sweet little ditty by my ear, you know, life and death battle, the internal struggle, addiction, mental health, love, loss, faith. You have to have faith in something. You have to believe in something. And so many times in my life, a glimmer of hope, even if it was self-created, is the thing that you need to go a little further, hang on a little bit longer. Do you find it easier as you go on to write deep lyrics that are so important and put them out there? You know, and I understand you dress them up very nicely, and I think it's kind of important when you've got a serious message to still be able to put it into a maybe a needle that can penetrate the skin, as it were, of our resistance. Talk about music as a, you know, as a healing force and a life change, and how conscious are you of it, or does it heal? You know, does it work backwards? How does it work for you?
Yeah, I'd say that definitely in the past few years, I've sort of been able to really open up emotionally and get really deep into how I really feel about certain things and be able to express it in a way that sounds intelligible, because a lot of times things are disorganized in my head, but music just sort of helps to lay everything out from beginning to end. You can make a story out of it. And
and requires that you stick within a confine of the parameters that you're writing in.
Yeah.
So you have to be economical.
Of course, yeah. And the thing is, too, I find the one good thing about music, even though you are kind of limited to the length, I find I'm able to say things in songs that I just can't say without the music. You know, if I just try to, you know, deliver some of these messages to people, I don't think it would really get across in the same way, you know.
Yeah, it's really the gist of it when you're writing that kind of music. And I think it's important when you impart that kind of investment, it gets noticed. And the fans that you make, or the people who carry your music or your message, do so with great vigor and great passion. And if you're one of them people right now are hearing this and going, holy shit, this guy is great, you know, drop a line right now. I'm sure it's going to happen. And become one of the people who propel someone who damn well deserves it into the next stage of what is a very competitive world of music. Because you probably grew up, did you remember ever spending any money for CDs or tapes, or has music been free your whole life?
I remember, yeah, there was definitely a period in time when downloads weren't really completely mainstream yet, and people were still kind of buying CDs, and I liked cassette tapes. I was always a fan of that, because I had the Sony Walkman, and I had a little, another Sony model, it's a bit bigger, the cassette quarter TC80 or something along those lines. And that was always really fun. I just enjoyed the easy usability of a tape back and forth, you know, record over stuff instantly. And I find that when we moved away from the physical medium of music into just purely downloading, pirating everything, the music sort of lost its charm a little bit. Because, you know, bootleg records are different. I feel completely differently about bootleg records. I don't look at those in the same way. Like, there were certain stores, at least up north, that thrived mainly off of their sales of bootleg records. And it allowed people who couldn't necessarily find certain albums in whatever country they were in to be able to listen to stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you remember hearing about the Beatles being banned in Russia. Yeah. So they started putting everything on floppy pieces of cellophane or whatever it was.
It was actually X-ray film.
Yeah.
From,
you know, at the end of the day, people are going to get music one way or another if they want to listen to it.
And in Canada, like people who aren't from Ontario or aren't from Canada, it's on a map because Canada is so huge. Orillia or Barrie, you know, they look pretty metropolitan to Hamilton, Toronto, the GTA, but it's really a different world, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. Definitely. I'd say living up north, things have been so different for me with starting out there with first of all, the music, just the music scene in general is so different from moving from one town to another. I remember every time I walk by a bar on the corner, there'd be music, there'd be a band somewhere, there'd be something happening, there's open mics, somewhere I can go and play. But then I moved to Niagara Falls, and instantly there's just that, you notice that everything's so commercialized. Yeah. Like everything south of a certain part of Ontario is just more, like we're going to sell as much as we possibly can.
It's clothes shop, it's mafia,
Exactly.
In one form or another, it's the same goddamn thing. But we got something real that you're not going to get anywhere else. You got it here on Barbershop Podcast. You got another live tune coming our way. What you got for us?
Oh, this is technically a 2-in-1. Nice. This is called My Release / Pop Star Confession. Basically, I wrote this one about my experiences perceiving the music industry from an outsider's perspective. And the second half of the song is in the perspective of a filthy rich pop star whose success has gone to his head.
You're going to want to be part of this. Chris Mercer, you're going to get to hear him right here, right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, everything's gonna be okay. Life will get better someday. Just take your time and you'll find your way. Yo, fuck that shit, nothing's ever gonna change. I tried living life on the right path, but put two and two together, just do the math, and you'll see reality the way it's meant to be. Much music is a true north tragedy. If you're looking for the truth, look no farther than the youth pushing Robin, thinking Miley Cyrus. I ain't caught the stupid virus everybody's calling the Bieber fever. If my girl caught that shit, I swear I'd leave her. I weep for a future of swag, where everything starts with a fucking hashtag. All your tweeting twats and trendy robots can live your life programmed by your CV guide. Think I'll go outside, look natural light. You guys can sit and fight till you're turning white, but when it comes down to it, I ain't going through it. Just cause everybody else does doesn't mean I gotta do it. Hey, you wearing those glasses without any lenses, fake. Tools couldn't find a unique identity without forensics. Fuck you for turning society fucking retarded. Waste, youth, stupidity of man, don't even get me started. I tried so wild just to let it go, not to let my concentrated hatred take control, but I couldn't sit back and just watch it happen. All these self-proclaimed gangsters crappily rapping. It's sad, I need to buy the world's smallest violin to play a backtrack that their idea style in, to redefine the definition of romantic, and now society's a social Titanic. We're going down, boys, we're gonna drown, boys, but don't you let me see them smiles on the frowns, boys. We finally even scratch the tip of this iceberg, to comfort everybody with a couple nice words. We got an obligation, the lack of information, and making sure that ignorance is spread across the nation. Creation, constipation, inspiration, segregation. Throw your hands in the air as a celebration. I'll probably get some attention from the lyrics, but I'm not looking for fame, just wanna share it while praying that someone's IQ score will increase. You've all got yours, man. This is my release. Yeah, 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 this is my release. Yeah, 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 this is my release. want to be rich, we want to be famous, we don't want to bitch, but can you really blame us? Every song that's won a Grammy in the past 10 years uses just 4 chords to please your ears, and it doesn't seem to matter just as long as it's a radio eligible song. Don't mention anything that might convince people to think. Just feed them lies to hide the fact that your music stinks. Turn up the reverb, don't wanna bore us. Prepare yourselves for another catchy chorus. Everybody sing along. It's money to my ears, it's evil and it's wrong, but I think I'm in the clear. Everybody's satisfied, as far as I can see. So whip out your checkbooks and repeat after me. I said G, D, E minor, followed by a C. That's all you need to get your music in the mainstream. And now the melody is stuck like a bullet in your head, and I don't give a fuck if you don't miss me when I'm dead. I don't need to leave a legacy, I don't need no respect. You got another thing coming if you think you're gonna make me get my life in check. My audience is disposable, they mean nothing to me, but I tell them I love them so they don't download my music for free. Yeah, I just a multi-platinum and I'm a millionaire. They're starving homeless people and nobody cares, because G, D, E minor, followed by a C. That's all you need to get your music in the mainstream. I said G, D, E minor once again, followed by a C. Now if you're Taylor Swift, just change it to a different key. I said E, B, C sharp minor, A. Can one person manage to tell that this song still sounds the same? I said E, B, C sharp minor, A. No matter what you do, mainstream music's here to stay. So give me all your money, time to get rich.
My God. Talk about the burden of the truth. Being a truth seeker, a truth teller, that's got to suck. At times, I mean, it's a gift, but it's terrible because you're swimming in a sea of phonies with this shocking burst. Are you worried about black helicopters, about people dropping down and taking you out?
Not yet.
Not yet, but I hope to be the case one day that you rise to prominence to the point that you do scare the fuck out of some people.
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking maybe that song has something to do with why I haven't got so many gigs.
Yeah, it could be, you know, and people who are worried that I wouldn't don't understand that the house would be brought down by people who are so refreshed. They wouldn't know what to do. We have been choked with mediocrity for so fucking long, silencing people, hearing something that's different, unique, a take on something, someone who isn't feeling cowed, shamed. It's so refreshing. I'm glad to have you in here, and we'll make that record. I think that we got lucky tonight, and I gotta say thank you very much for coming in here. We got a video, we got some more tunes, we got some more live tunes, we got a little bit more philosophy gonna come your way. Talk about some of the heavy influences, either an author or a musician, someone who kind of caught you at the right time to make a big difference in your life.
Sounds good. Yeah, you know,
any come to mind?
I'd say there's the list is so long I couldn't even name off all of the influences I've ever had, but I'd say a lot of where I take my style from would be as far as just the progressiveness. Kiss was a huge influence, yeah, because my dad was actually in a Kiss tribute band for 6 years. It's called Fried Alive, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and,
the Beatles and Kiss are the two.
Yeah, the Beatles were another huge influence for sure. Yeah, and I wasn't so much into like the AC/DC kind of side of that kind of rock. You know, I respect them as musicians, but just my taste personally gravitates more towards like say like Led Zeppelin and the sort of darker, more eerie stuff. Black Sabbath, that sort of stuff has kind of started to hold true with me. But always my two favorite bands have always actually been from Hamilton, and So this being my first time here is really cool because
and say who they are.
Teenage Head and the Forgotten Rebels.
And you got to know that those are rock and roll royalty in any quarter of the world.
So I guess any slight profanity and provocativeness that comes out is influenced by the Forgotten Rebels for sure. I'd like to, you know, rush the stage to give Justin Trudeau a copy of my album.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? It needs to be done. Thank you. This is Marketing 201 because you've already graduated from the easy stuff. We're in the fight for our lives, people. Be sure to surround yourself with people who are buoyant, shall we say. No anchors. All right. Chris Mercer is one of those buoyant people surrounded by positivity and putting up and not shutting up. It's going to play another one off of the CD. This one's called Ain't Worth Dying. A particular hill that's not worth dying on, or something?
There's actually a story behind the song. Back in 2012, I decided to record a song for my mom's birthday. So this was basically like on the night before her birthday. I already had a cold, so my voice was shot. But I still forced myself to push my way through this song, and I got it sounding as good as I possibly could. I had laryngitis the next day, but it was worth it. I stayed up all night, made the CD for her.
There you go. This is a song that a dude made for his mom he loved so much on the brink of, you know, got laryngitis out of it, and you're going to hear it. You're going to feel it. It's a real story. It's a real song. It's a real dude. It's barbershoppodcast.com.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just what I'm really feeling, the man I want to be. Understanding your position, you're protecting me. Isn't easy, it takes some courage to set me free. Got nothing, ain't that something different in itself? The emptiness inside of us is what's filling up this hell. I wish you knew how much I care. I'd get you if you fell. But I can't stop the pain from stinging if I can't catch myself. Oh, under the lies and fear and doubt, all the hurtful things we shout, there's a song that's always on my mind. Joy and love, it ain't no crime. You were always by my side. Sweet beyond the tears we cried. I don't wanna miss you while you're still alive. It ain't worth dying for the things that kill you inside. It ain't worth dying for the things that kill you inside. It ain't worth dying for the things that kill you inside. People all around, they ask me, what's got you down? I tell them it ain't important. I try to hide my frown. Keep distracting ourselves from the real world. The problems are still around. And we're left stuck waiting for the sun to shine in this endlessly rainy town. got nothing, ain't that something different in itself? The emptiness inside is what's filling up this hell. I wish you knew how much I care to get you if you fell. But I can't stop the pain from stinging if I can't get myself. Oh, time, all the hurtful things we share. There's something that's always on my mind. Joy and life, it ain't no crime. You were always by my side. Sleep behind the tears we cried. I don't wanna miss you when you're still alive. They were dying for the things that kill you inside. They were dying for the things that kill you inside.
And that's Chris Mercer. You're going to be crowdsourcing this new record, and you're going to be looking for it and loving it. Be one of his boosters, one of his initial supporters. Get behind something. And why be behind something that's been kicked around the block a bunch of times? This is going to be an incredible record. Everything has led to this. Everything is for a reason. Which brings me to ba-da-da-da, taxes done right. Because you don't want your taxes done wrong. You don't want your bookkeeping done wrong. You want your financials done right. Get them done by our girl, Heather. Heather is a pro. She's been doing this for a long time. She has full accreditation. And, you know, if tax season's over and you haven't done it, does not matter. Get on it, especially if you're a musician or you're in this business. She's got a lot of experience with R-types, and, you know, I'm going to leave it at that. But if, you know, you're special in a couple ways that you maybe not be as diligent as you could have or should have been, she will make sure that everything is done right, it's buttoned up, and it looks good, and you have the peace of mind, and goodness knows you might even get some money back from the old government yourself. All right, taxes done right. If you mention you like the show, or you heard about it here on Barbershop Podcast, or you come to Boxo Studio and get your record done, there's even a better deal, 5 points off, even from there. Okay, go check out Taxes Done Right and get them done right. Speaking of doing it right, there's my segue. There's only one way to do it. No one's going to do it for you. We've covered that. We've talked about the kind of tenacity that's required to do this and to get up and do it on a regular basis, to get out and busk. And we talked with Al, and I lived with Al, and I was in a band with Al. And I understood that there were some days where when you're doing something like that, you're very aware of the power of the universe, where you make twice as much money on a one day as you normally would. It's no different than the day before, but there seems to be some sort of universal little thing that's going through that's making people feel something. Are you aware of that, or has that helped you become aware of that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I find there's definitely there's a bit of a vibe every different day in Niagara Falls, depending on what's going on and who's there. And some days it can be packed with people, and I still don't make much money all day. Like, I'll maybe make $20 over the course of like 8 hours or so. But then other days it'll be like a Sunday, the weather's crappy and there's only the odd person, but you'll get a few people that are just generous enough to make it work.
Yeah.
And I never like to ask for money. Like, I've never made a sign or anything that sort of says like, hey, give me money.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if somebody just takes one of my business cards and goes and checks out the free music on my website, that would make me just as happy, because that shows that they're interested and they want to support me at some point, you know.
Yeah, and this is good advice for somebody who is pursuing an independent music career. And we've had a number of people in here who not only started their career but continue to do that. If you can learn how to make a living, you're pleasing the crowd and you're paying attention to what people want. It becomes a survival necessity, not a luxury that you could afford to do later on at the club. So when you get to the point where you are performing in front of a bunch of people, you kind of intrinsically know what they want, right?
Yeah.
What would you say is a universal thing that makes, because you play a lot of different music and you know what people like and what turns them on? Is there anything common that makes like a great song that if someone is about to write a song, like you got to make sure is in there?
Well, I could say I first of all, I try to avoid the provocative material when I'm on the street. I never swear before a certain time. And sometimes
what is that time, by the way?
Usually anywhere between 9 and 11, depending on how things work out. But by 11, it's basically free game at that point. You know, it's just, you know, kids are supposed to be asleep by then. So if I swear and somebody's, you know, picks it up, I'm sorry. I'm not, you know, I've never tried to be the offensive type. But as far as the kind of music that like something that really sticks for me is at the end of the day, the lyrics have to be strong, and there has to be a strong message behind it, or it's just kind of weak. I find like there's some songs that are just like complete nonsense lyrics, and they have a great, you know, rhythm, and they've got all the different parts of a good song. But if the lyrics aren't there, you're missing out on a huge opportunity to really pull people in and get them to feel it. You know?
You understand nobody owes you a damn thing, and you have that wonderful ability to not only have provocative, interesting titles to draw someone in, but your lyrics are very substantive. They've got a lot of meat to them.
Like I've tried to stop pleasing people because I found it didn't make a difference anyway when I was. So now I've just sort of decided if I'm doing everything independently, I might as well just not be afraid to.
Haters gonna hate.
You know, exactly.
Well, we love it. We love the independence. We love the glory that is music, that is artists. Our tie.
Our tie.
Our tie.
I like that.
You're gonna play another live one.
Sure.
And what are you gonna do for us?
I think I'll do one more humorous song, just get it out of the way. This is sort of a follow-up to my release of Popstar Confession. It's called One Hit Wonder.
Oh.
And that one will speak for itself, I think, through the lyrics.
I hope so, too. You're going to hear it right now on barbershoppodcast.com.
I wanna make a pop music video that everyone would stop just and listen to. I'd have a #1 single radio hit, but no one's gonna give a shit until we spice it up with computer-generated imagery. Let the fire burn, but don't worry about no injury. Everyone survives car explosions when the car ain't real. Yeah, yeah. So shout out to Adobe's indispensable After Effects, buried up with pre-keyed stock footage from the net. Take a blue or green screen, make the background transparent, and drop those motherfuckers in. Then take a trip to videocopilot.net. Take a look at everything that you could buy, man. Action essentials too, and optical flares is all you need to get J.J. Abrams scared. Do some research. I wanna be a one-hit wonder that just fade away. They'll say, hey, who sings this song? They'll be like, I don't know, man, but he sounds pretty great. Yeah, I'll take advantage of my image straight out of Photoshop. They'll charge their visa to the limit with songs they've already bought. Cause I'm that guy that did that thing that one time. Remember, man, I always sang that one line. It went like na 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 na, yeah, or something like that. I kinda forget, but it was awesome. So it's totally awesome. I'll only ever get one song on the radio, but it's bound to be good. So now I'm #1 on the Billboard, It only took some lame words and 4 chords. I've got enough money to end poverty, but I'd rather spend it all on me, because I've always dreamed of having an elephant in my backyard, trained to stomp on anyone who tries to sneak in my back door. ADT can suck it, man, I don't need them anymore. They're more expensive still. So I'll create a country that nobody can safely leave unless they paid me a hefty chunk of salary. On second thought, the country's Canada and we're just paying taxes on our own free will. Oh yeah, right. I got off track a little bit, what was I saying? Oh yeah, that song that every single station's playing. I'm not famous, but this one song is, and that's enough for me to barely feed my kids till tomorrow. Thank God I was a one-hit wonder and everybody loved me. Justin Bieber's got a brand new album and he's 300 million ranks above me. But I'm not gonna worry about it, I'm fine with going south. I took the nice advice he gave me and learned to love myself. Music videos are full of cheap effects. Those guns weren't loaded, but they're shooting bullets, and nearly nothing you see is actually real. But it don't matter, cause it makes you feel like going on iTunes, buying all of my tunes, and you could hypothetically make me rich with your time and mouse clicks.
All right, that's Chris Mercer. Let's make him rich. I mean it. There's a lot of people who I know who are watching this right now who are in a position to do that. I don't know if those people exist anymore, or if their contacts exist anymore, because there were great record companies and there were great people, and they took chances on people who were different, and that worked, and it worked to the general public. And then even when kind of the water came up to the stupidity level up to here, it still worked in the universities, and it still worked in certain coffee houses, and the stupidity level got a little higher, and everyone started choking out. And now I'm wondering if there's a place for someone who is aware and ready to fight, because the fight that the artist has to fight is very different from the one of 40 or 50 years ago. There's a complacency that will surely be the death of us all. And not a lot of people want to say fuck all about what will kill them, because they're the one who is feeding them or promising to feed them right now. It's a tough gig to be a thinking, feeling human in this day and age, isn't it?
Yeah, things have definitely, as far as the music industry is concerned, things are not like they used to be. And getting into it as a career has been impossible for me. I've had to stop looking at it like that, because I don't think I'll ever be able to make a steady income on music, and no. I don't expect that. No. I don't really want it at the end of the day.
You will use your connections that you will make. You will use your skills to facilitate your music, which is, as I always said, the diamond tip of the spear for the agent of change, to make a difference. I still believe we learn the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We don't learn the alphabet without the song. The song is crucial in every sector of our life. It's integrated into who we are, because it is syncopated to our humanity. And it's been sold out. It's been sullied. It's been bullshitted. And it's okay when it serves a purpose, and that is to escape the control and the drudgery. But the protest song is gone, and if anyone's found it, I think you have. You have to use humor, and you have to use sarcasm, and you have to use.
Only way.
It is, and
you don't want to be too serious.
Yeah, and you have to do it with the right amount of spice. You can't be salty, and you can't be bitter. You have to be real. And you are, and you've knocked it right through the goalposts. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Barbershop Podcast approved. All right, we have a video. It's been a little while since we've had a video. We love that the fact videos exist. You know, you can come up with a creative idea, do something on a phone camera, put in your GarageBand audio track that you did, and there's no excuse for not being creative this day and age, is there? There's so much wicked free software available. You've put this one together. I have no idea how it was done. Give props to people who helped you out. Tell me about your video, which, you know, the
actually,
Bacon for the Baconless.
Everything in this video I produced myself. As far as the name, it's an interesting story. Me and somebody that I met online who lived in Michigan, we decided to make this comedy page on Facebook called Bacon for the Baconless, which is just supposed to be this non-profit organization that gives people bacon to be nice. Yeah. And it turned out it has 1,641 likes on Facebook now. Meanwhile, Chris Mercer Music has 38.
Yes,
so
shows to go, yeah.
People like bacon.
More than they like Chris Mercer. At this point, it's not different that much. All right, let's talk about it after the fact.
Yeah,
I think that'd be better.
We'll let it spin.
A treat for the eyes, a treat for the ears, a treat for your fertile mind. This is Chris Mercer, and this is his incredible video, Bacon for the Baconless, on barbershoppodcast.com.
It's 6 a.m., you're waking up. You got the fresh squeeze on juice in your cup. Aromatic, fantastic, don't be mistaken. All you need is a strip of bacon for the making list. Put your misery to rest. Bacon's all you'll ever need. Jesus like, say the least. Bacon for the making list. Covered in greasy out deliciousness. Bacon for the making less, worth every single bit of the cardiac arrest. Oh, no, no, no. It's breakfast time all around the world. Calling out to all the boys and girls. You got rich white bread and eggs are shaking. Yeah, all you need is a strip of bacon for the making less. Put your misery to rest. Bacon's all you'll ever need. Jesus like, to say the least. Bacon for the making list. Covered in greasy out deliciousness. Come on, bacon for the making list. Worth every single bit of the cardiac arrest. Bacon, bacon all day long, baby. Bacon, bacon, bacon all day long, baby. No, 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 no. Those vegetables won't do. I need more bacon on my plate. I said, bacon, bacon, bacon all day long, baby. I think you know what I'm trying to say. Vegetarianism is fake and gay. You can lie to yourself, but you can't deny. Bacon is what you really want to find. Oh, I know, baby pigs are cute, but your only appetite's for veggies and fruit. Whatever makes you happy, I guess. Think I'm gonna stick with the cardiac arrest. Oh, 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 oh.
I have been baconated. Chris Mercer on Barbershop Podcast. This is fabulous. This is a shot in the arm when I was feeling weak. You strengthened me. There are people in the world with a voice, a sweet singing voice, because I don't know. Were you a karaoke boy? Did you go out and do that circuit back in the day?
Just recently I've started getting into it now that I moved to Niagara Falls. The beer garden on Clifton Hill, I'll definitely give them a shout out.
It could be fun.
There's super high energy. It's great.
And for those people who don't know, Clifton Hill in Niagara Falls is like the hot dog alley. It is literally a hill, like Lombardo Street or Lombard Street in in San Fran, where it is quite steep right by Niagara Falls, and it's where all of the wax museums and all of the
you name it, it's their haunted houses.
And everyone is fighting for that little bit. It was Twitter before there was Twitter. Yeah. So you could put it on a steep hill, and I think they've even cobblestoned it, right? Or is it regular? I don't know. If it's like,
I'm not sure what they've done with that, to be honest. I know
but people
they're
just
building.
cruise, like they just slowly up and down there. It is really one of the incredible tourist spots of the year. Niagara Falls draws people from everywhere. And it's like any tourist town. It's pretty kind of sad and bleak on the outside and then the off season and everything else. But for those, they make, in the 3 months of the tour season, they make their year. The other 9 months, you can make nothing because you make so much in the 3 months. So it's really a hit or miss, a feast or famine kind of situation with Niagara Falls. And of course, Hamilton is the, if you're in the States, we're like Pittsburgh, the big steel town in the country, Cleveland, those kind of Rust Belt cities in the shadow of Toronto, which is like New York, the metropolitan city, and on the cusp of Lake Ontario, known as the Golden Horseshoe. This, when you're from Northern Ontario, is like a gleaming star. Everyone wants to come down here, right?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody says if you want to, do anything related to, succeeding, you got to go to a big city, especially for music. People told me, go to Toronto. But now, more recently, people have said Hamilton. That makes more sense to me because I remember hearing about how back in the 80s this was the place,
You're too real for Toronto.
Yeah, this is more my style. I like it. I've only been here for a few hours. I already love it.
Yeah, you get caught in the Gloiven. We're going to go to the Corktown Tavern tonight and see Jimmy. We're going to go see our friend Tyson and his son Eric Maloche from Spin Dizzy fame, and Dan Thomas and Steve Tomalti, the fellows in Rat Rod, who put on a fantastic open mic, open stage. You go and play your favorite songs. We're going to show the boy Chris our town, Hamilton, before we put him on the bus back to Niagara Falls. But we're going to play one more tune that you recorded because you have a soft spot for this song. You want to tell us why?
Yeah, this one is still going to be on the comedy album, but it's not so much funny as it is it makes you think. Basically, where this song came from is I've noticed a lot of people trying to sort of reinvent what music's supposed to be like. First, you saw it with hip-hop in the 90s, which, in my opinion, was a good thing. Hip-hop, classic hip-hop is great. There's some really good hits. But what's happened now is rap music and the new wave trap hip-hop and all this stuff is just kind of...
lazy.
It's been bastardized.
It's lazy.
And I've met a lot of people who are just like these wannabe gangsters who think they're super tough and, but eventually they get brought down to size. And that's sort of where this song comes in is I created a character that is named Richard Christian, who's basically just this guy who thinks he's the most gangster, awesome guy ever, but he's really not.
Dick Christian, phony gangster, right here, barbershoppodcast.com.
Yeah. White Guys 2017. We're all up in this bitch. Let's rock it. I got street cred. Okay, not ready, but I beat feds. Okay, not ready, but on weekends I smoke up with the 25 native cigarettes and that shit's harsh, man. I'm a gangster. Me and 20 of my dogs got a hanger that we all meet up in with anger. We rebel against the system and grow massive tomato plants of farm chickens. Fed with animal byproduct, the bump out of antibiotics genetically modified to be larger than a fully grown tiger from Africa. Sell them meat to A&W and laugh because they don't know the food is still poison. All the parents will feed it to the boys and girls thinking they're making a healthy decision with the name of chubby chicken, obesity submission. We're the kind of guys that don't realize that our flies are down. We wear New York hats, but we're from Canada. We think hashtag swag is a lifestyle. We haven't seen a pussy in quite a while. My friend's girlfriend's friend used to fuck a guy who used to live in an apartment that was right beside an old building that used to be a studio that somebody told Jay-Z that he should go to. He never went, cause honestly the place is lame. That's why they ended up closing in the first place. But still, the famous guy was almost close to it, which was close to them, who were close to me. I can't believe it, I'm so closely linked to superstars. The only difference is my bicycle is not a car. My gold chain is really just plastic, but my rhymes are fucking fantastic. White guys are taking over hip-hop and turning into mainstream shit-pop. We started out aboard and now we can't stop. That's a contract, it says it takes a year the album drop. We're broke as fuck, so let's be honest. Oh please, go waste your money on us. If you buy an album, that's a bonus. Hopefully our families won't decide to disown us. I'm sorry mom, I disappointed you. I did exactly what you always told me not to do. You told me I'm a fool and that I wasn't cool. Should've listened when you told me that I should've got to school. Yeah, I didn't know what practice could have done. I'm stuck with 4-4, man, I wanna switch it up, but I dropped out young. Everybody says I'm dumb, but I was born a white guy. Bitches tell me how come, yeah. We're white guys, blonde hair and blue eyes, desperately seeking approval. On my Wikipedia page to get a room. No, just a couple wise guys, long hair and red eyes, desperately seeking approval. On my Wikipedia page to get a room. No. I'm a genius, okay, not ready. I'm from Venus, okay, not ready. But my penis is adequately larger than almost all the guys my girlfriend's ever been with. And I'm a dealer, got a hand for playing cards, got a trick or two up my sleeve. It's time to raise a bar, so if you see some bar floating, don't be alarmed now. It's just an excuse for me to get my anaconda jam. There's no harm in getting lucky on the down low. I keep it secret that casinos are my second home. I play them over and over again, they don't get old. The third album is my favorite from Blue Rodeo. I drink spiced rum straight from the bottle. The Coca-Cola makes it easier to swallow. I get absolutely blasted up for 3 shots. Then I run around screaming like a retard. I spent countless hours navigating dungeons, using nothing but a compass, and I'm out to run shit. And if you think that I should get to knock my high horse, you can suck my dick. I got the fucking Triforce. I'm a legend, I'm linked in the past. I'm making history and my legacy will last. I'm swimming in a pool of cold hard cash. Acquire donkeys, you know I always get that ass. And now you see, I'm everything you wanna be. I'm a straight up low life wannabe. I'm always putting quantity over quality. I use cliches, stereotypes for novelty. Everybody ought to see eventually that I'm lacking in mental health well-being. But why fix what's broken when it works for me? Rhymes are easier to rap when you're completely crazy, yeah! White guys are taking over hip-hop and turning into mainstream shit-pop. We started out aboard and now we can't stop. Cause the contract says it takes a year the album drop. We're broke as fuck, so let's be honest. Oh please, go waste your money on us. If you buy an album, that's a bonus. Hopefully our families won't decide to disown us. I'm sorry mom, I disappointed you. I did exactly what you always told me not to do. You told me I'm a fool and that I wasn't cool. Should've listened when you told me that I should've got to school, yeah. I didn't know what practice could have done. I'm stuck with 4-4, man, I wanna switch it up, but I dropped out young. Everybody says I'm dumb, but I was born a white guy. Bitches tell me how come, yeah. We're white guys, blonde hair and blue eyes, desperately seeking approval. On my Wikipedia page to get a room. No, just a couple wise guys, long hair and red eyes, desperately seeking approval. On my Wikipedia page to get a room. No.
Truth doesn't have to hurt. It can feel good sometime. And I'm so glad you came in tonight and made us all feel good, made our audience feel good, woke up a few people to the potential. That is Chris Mercer. We're going to have you. You're going to be part of our future. We're going to be part of your future. You can be part of Chris Mercer's future. If you see this and you like it, you want to be part of it, let's blow this guy up. He deserves it. My God, Barbershop Podcast. Doing it for you every week. Thanks, brother, for coming out. Ryan
Thank you
Cannon,
for having
Gary
me.
Greenland. Thank you guys for coming, doing your thing.
Thanks, guys.
Love it. See you next week. Oh, Ryan, do we have a... Don't we have a thick, juicy helmet next week? It's just...
It's purple helmet.
It's a purple helmet week.
Helmet.
Soft purple helmet. A punk band made to be quiet.
What a great warm-up
I
episode
know.
we had for next week. Chris is going to have to tune in for next week.
Yes, we're getting body.
I'll be watching.
It's
going to be dirty.
We're getting body and naughty on Barbershop Podcast. See you next week.